You referenced in your opening comments about your background, you spent 10 years at Morgan Stanley just prior to accepting this position at the Ford Foundation. How will you know your time at the foundation was successful enough to make your departure from Morgan Stanley worth it?
Thanks for asking that question. And, you know, it's funny because I think about that all the time. My time at Morgan Stanley was just among the most gratifying times of my life. It's a great firm. I had a great team, still in contact with them on a regular basis. And it makes me feel like going to Ford, you know, it better have been worth it to leave that very comfortable seat at Morgan Stanley behind. So there's at least three ways that I'll measure success. First is whether our investment managers achieve the positive social impact and financial returns that we hope for. And we'll know the answer to the impact returns sooner than the financial returns just because of the back-ended nature of private equity firms. So, for example, we already know that our private equity fund managers in the multifamily affordable rental housing space have our capital has gone towards the preservation of over 16,000 units of housing. You know, we live in a society where there's a shortage of over 7 million of affordable housing, and that number grows by 100 to 200,000 every year. We know those same managers have invested in renewable energy plant and equipment for the units. So not only do you save operating costs, because typically renewable energy operations are lower costs than fossil fuel, and they're also better for the environment. So we already know some of that, and we hope to see continuing great progress, but it'll be time before we know whether the financial returns have met our goals. The second goal I have is to increase awareness of mission-related investing, impact investing in the business world, and not just as sort of and you know, kind of fluffy brochures that talk about all the great things that the company's, you know, socially responsible department is thinking about. And so I want to get beyond token gestures, and not to say that all gestures have been token. Just to be clear, there are some companies that are just doing great work here that we admire. But I want to focus more in the spirit of what the Business Roundtable has been talking about recently. Jamie Dimon led the announcement where the Business Roundtable indicated that it was at a point where it was renouncing shareholder primacy in favor of stakeholder capitalism. That is a more inclusive form of capitalism, with the goal of preserving capitalism, which is also our goal, and that is to make capitalism much more inclusive and to have a more of a shared prosperity model. And then the third thing I'll frame by comparing the magnitude of the social problems we're seeking to address with our MRI commitment of up to $1 billion. And so although our MRI commitment is the largest of its kind in the foundation world, it seems puny in comparison with the cost of all the social problems that we're trying to address. And there are many more that we aren't currently focused on in our strategy today. So my third objective is to encourage other foundations, sovereign wealth funds, public pension funds, labor pension funds, to allocate more capital to impact investing. We have overlapping beneficiaries, and we're all focused on advancing the well-being of those beneficiaries. And we believe that impact investing or mission-related investing, which is a subset of impact investing, we believe that there are ways to prudently invest capital toward the advancement of the human condition and the well-being of society, and make money at the same time. That is appropriate risk-adjusted returns on capital that are market rate. And we like the active way of doing that at the Ford Foundation. So we invest in private equity firms because we actually want to drive behavior. That is not to say that we don't applaud. We do applaud those organizations who may not have the capacity to focus on private equity and instead invest in public market instruments like negative or positive screen ETFs. We like that because at least there's an anchoring in positive social mission or morals and ethics. But we believe that sovereign wealth funds, public pension funds, labor pension funds, and foundations all have overlapping beneficiaries. And we believe that there are ways for all of us to meet our financial returns requirements and at the same time do good. We don't believe those two things are mutually exclusive.